second episode, which I believe was titled Honey, again, keeping to the themes of bees and swarms and all that. But again, was there a moment in the second episode that really stood out to you? Again, just kind of getting everyone up to speed with the second episodes where we jump to she's now moved from Houston. She's now, I believe, in Tennessee, and we now see her and it's August of 2017. She's a stripper. We see that she now has this a mission on hand where she's looking for the guy that made fun of Marissa passing away and all that stuff. So just anything in this episode real that stood out to you from a comedy level to a crazy level? Take it away.
And this episode was crazy meta, right? With Paris Jackson in it. And I'm liking Paris Jackson and stuff. She was in American Horror Stories, and she's actually, I was impressed, although kind of, it was very ironic. But what stuck to me most was her killing of Tonk, of Reggie, because you had like the double of like him being dismissive and hateful online toward Nyjah, but then also what he was saying about Marissa's death. So it was like twofold. So again, just this idea of like the first two major kills aside from the two white people in the episode having to do with Marissa and Nyjah, kind of cycling back to that. So I thought that was just kind of interesting. But yeah, this was, oh no, I'm gonna tell you what I loved about this episode was just the Players Club references. Players Club references. That's what I loved about this episode.
Don't be trouble. I wish we got that, like a little trouble.
Oh, Bernie.
Yes, rest in peace, rest in peace. This episode compared to the first one, to me, definitely kind of leaned more into the comedy of the show, and much needed after that, crazy ending of episode 1. But B, was there anything in particular that stood out to you with episode 2 with Halsey being, I guess he couldn't accept me because I was half black, moments like that, or again, the moments where we see again Marissa, or not Marissa, but Dre killing her new friend and her boyfriend.
Yeah, what stood out to me the most was just the confidence she had of dancing so horribly. She was in her own world, man, not giving a crap. And I was just like, what? So that I took it back. Also, I don't know why she killed Halsey or Haley or whatever her name was. I can understand why she killed a boyfriend, but she was on your side. She was like, yeah, F this dude, kick him in the face. Yeah, we're gonna be the new Bonnie and Clyde, and then bam. And I'm still confused. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. But maybe one of y'all can explain it to me. But that's what stood out to me. And I didn't know this was Paris Jackson at first. It took me a while. So
yeah, no, she definitely did her thing in this episode. Who's it, Tyra? Did I get your thoughts on the second episode? Was there anything in particular on this episode that stood out to you, from Halsey to the boyfriend being killed?
This is really the first encounter we have of many of a fellow white person, just many people in general, not reading the room. Like, he gives off "don't bother me" so heavily.
Yeah.
Like, she's immediately annoyed. She's nonchalant. She doesn't want to engage, period. But you have someone like, Paris wanting so heavily, like, to attach herself to her. And at first glance, you would think like, oh, this is a match made in heaven. She thinks that everything about Drea is awesome. She thinks she's a cool person. Maybe this will be a placeholder for what Marissa was. Maybe they'll have that. But it's like, oh, you're a Halsey fan? You're a Halsey fan? Like, no, not only do I not want you in my space, but you're a Halsey fan, and you are like, it was just, I didn't understand like why she would even, like, that room was filthy. It's just absolutely disgusting how she was living. And I was looking at Paris, I was like, why would you want to come in here and pee? This is not, there was nothing inviting about her, but she just felt like she found a kindred spirit. And just so many times in the show, you have people just not registering or just ignoring her quirks, her mannerisms, her personality, everything about her says, get the hell away from me. Don't talk to me. Now, I died laughing from the interpretive dance. Her smacking it. Where is Reggie? Like, that energy that she gave off is just
awful.
we not even that. We get into what a little bit of ass and sexuality will get you. Nobody in their right mind should want to dance from Drea. Not even that, but between him, not really like I don't care what's going on. Like you smack, you're growling, you're snatching food off my plate, and like what is not connecting? But he's still like, yeah, come on back. You can still get like what are you like? What are you not getting? But you have so many people just interested in maybe her looks, her virtue, just you're a stripper. Like they just want to engage with her despite the energy that she puts off. And the moment that I looked at the most here was when we have her at the stripper bachelor college whatever party, and you have that one white guy who
I was
comes
gonna
to
say, is
find
no one
her.
gonna bring that up? That was gonna be my last.
Yeah, he comes
was-
to pleasure himself, and it is just like
Forgot
I
about
could
that.
be. She's so off-putting. Like I'm not interested in engaging. In fact, I'm gonna go find a room secluded from all of this just to be alone. And fully covered, not engaging at all, not in any way acting like the ladies in the room, though they are strippers. Shall we engaging in a whole lot more than stripping?
yeah.
You still come find me and you sexualize me, and I love the way that he came in. It's just like you're not like
You're
them.
not
Like
like
I
those
feel like you're
girls. Yeah.
different. No, you
Yeah.
don't think I'm different. If you didn't, you wouldn't have came in here. But
Exactly.
even though I am solo dolo alone, I'm not giving off any type of energy that says I want to engage with you. I'm covered for the most part. You still come find me and amongst all these women to come and sexualize me for like, yeah, give me $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, and still in that moment, she still wasn't engaging, and he still, I was like, dude, like it's hella women in there, but that just goes to show I could still, just be who I am. You're still gonna come and find me. All of these people are going out of their way to find her. But I felt like she killed old Paris, and I laughed so hard at the reference to, I'm half. I was like, that's the eighth wonder. That's the Michael Jackson and kids. You still black, Mike. I ain't never put two and two together. But when she killed her, and you feel like, is she going to be upset? She killed her boyfriend. She killed the boyfriend in hopes that this would get Paris out of her hair. Like this would get her out of my room. But when she comes, it's just like, yeah, girl, we can be the black Thelma and Louise. This is what I always wanted. And it's just like, I have one agenda and one goal that I'm trying to do. If it's not about me killing who is, I came here for Reggie. I didn't come here for you. You are, pushing in on my plan. I need you to go away. Not only do I need you to go away, but you're not getting the hint. I'm going to kill you and, ask Siri who Halsey is. Like,
I'm going to push back a little bit, Tiger, because I rewatched the episode before we went live today. And there was a moment there where they was kind of laughing. I think she was kind of maybe accepting the idea of having someone to maybe help her out on this hunt of killing all of Naja fans. But I think, like you mentioned, as soon as she said Halsey, she was up, yep. Done deal. You ain't on my level. Elle, your thoughts, any moments that stood out to you? I'll throw it out there. How we wrap up the episode with Tuck or whatever his name was, Reggie, and how she, again, anger just overwhelms any logic of how she was going to kill this man, hits him over the head with a pot, and obviously he 10 times her size. I thought Dre was going to die in this episode, but shocked the hell out of me when the girls came in and shot him. But any moments stood out to you in this episode?
This episode was really, really fun to me. I was entertained from beginning to end. When I realized that it was Paris Jackson, I laughed because I'm goofy, but I don't know. It just tickled me to see her.
It's super meta too. It's a meta moment. Barry Jackson, Michael Jackson, pop star show. Upset. Yeah.
I didn't see it coming, and I just really enjoyed seeing, what I thought my theory, what I thought having it been confirmed, because, Dre being on the stage giving a liturgical dance, that was Dre. And then whoever that was afterwards that had she had the beat and she had her hair done and she was out there doing, giving a dance. That was the same person that went to the club and had sex with Macaulay Culkin's brother. So, I was like, okay, theory confirmed. But I don't know. This episode also was blackety black to me. I think any of the episodes weren't, you know what I mean? But for some reason, when she went in the kitchen and got something out of there to get him with, I knew it wasn't a knife. Something in my black spirit told me it was a cast iron slate. That thing sent me over the edge when I saw she was, because you could take somebody out.
Hey, talk about Atlanta. We saw our boy Paperboy took out that hog with a
exactly.
doggone.
Exactly. But you know, I thought her killing the boyfriend, I didn't get it at first, but it does make sense. You know, like this, she got the
Get
coat.
my hair.
She got but I think she killed Paris because Paris was just talking too much. Like, shut up, girl. Like, you know what I mean? It was like overwhelming her poor little senses, and she was like, what am I gonna do with her? Because I got to kill her now. Because she knows it ain't no coming back from it. I have to take her out now. So that's why Paris had to die. That was hilarious to me. I still don't know who Halsey is. And I probably won't ever know who Halsey is, but I enjoyed this episode. The strippers and the fact that she left them high and dry. Loved it. Loved the whole
You know about Ashley?
High and dry. No, I love the leaving them high and dry in the situation with the strippers in correlation with a real story that actually occurred in Tennessee of the 4 strippers who killed the Good Samaritan that just, stopped them. And I just like love the whole narrative of what Reggie represents. Hey, I'm maybe, one way online. We all tweet or message, a couple of things, but that doesn't make me a bad person. As soon as he approaches and says, my mama raised me, I was like, you gonna kill Reggie? Y'all gonna kill Reggie who gave you a tune-up and
I love that twist too, Tyra. When the guy pulls up, you're like, and he says his name, I'm like, that's some good writing.
No, that was great. But once they, that unassuming thing of us always, we see this big strapping black guy. It just, even though we've had Drea, so remember when you said in that one tweet that one time that I was like, oh my God, like really, and everybody's like, you need to calm down. Like, this man is helping us. But when we get into that narrative of her really, I was like, wow, she a killer. Even though she had already killed several people, the fact that she couldn't contain herself, it's like, I got to get him. I got to go pee. I need to go back and get him. And then, of course, we have the ladies come in and assume that she is being assaulted. And we get, that whole dynamic of, I love when they said, check his pockets. And we have them like really sit in often, even if she was assaulted and this was in self-defense from, even though my man's was fighting for his life, how often are we as women believe when we are sexually assaulted? I'd rather take my chances running away and not calling the police. Crazy, but I love the whole scene.
Yeah, and I got this photo popped up here, and again, it's another great way to end the episode. This whole like, wait a minute, I thought Marissa was dead, but obviously we know this is texting herself, which is just another level of just insanity from this character. But no, I think collectively we can all say this episode definitely was a tonal shift. Bringing it back to you, because I know you're not a big horror fan. Did you like the change in pace? I mean, it was dark towards the end, but it wasn't as dark as the first one. Did you kind of like that little bit more levity?
Yeah, I was like, big mistake when she shot him though. I'm like, that's the last thing you want to do. Y'all are not going to get away from this. They're not going to believe your story. We found out, I think in episode 6 what happened. But that's that the gunshot that stood out to me.
Definitely, man. And before we get into this third episode of some moments that stood out to us, we got over 305 people watching. Appreciate y'all tuning in live on our Swarm discussion with this wonderful panel of amazing people. If you guys are enjoying the conversation, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, share, continue to leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm trying to bring up as many comments as I can. If you have any questions for us in the panel, let us know. And more importantly, y'all, you see these wonderful people. All their links are in the description. So check them out. Their YouTube channels, great content creators. So definitely subscribe to them. So getting into this third episode, I want to start with you, Elle, titled Taste. Now, this was another episode. And again, I love how these episodes are so different from the not only the areas we're at. We got different names now. She's going by a different name. We're in a different month of the year. This episode really caught me off guard, especially, I don't know, this whole theme of this junk food. And we meet, it was Byron Bowers, I think his name is. I've seen a couple of his skits online. He's a pretty funny dude.
Yeah.
He killed me in this episode as far as this being hilarious. But we now see her again. She kills another dude who says something online. She asks who's the favorite artist. She kills the dude very early on. And just seeing her finding this white woman who I think the headline was Naja had got. Well, I think it was the whole. There was the
elevator.
Beyonce
The
fight
elevator.
in the escalator with Beyonce and Sanaa, her sister and Jay-Z. So there was some controversy going on. Some white woman was saying that Naja's music is causing riots on the streets and whatnot. And now she has her new person in mind. So Elle, what about this episode stood out to you? Was it the biting at the end? Biting Naja's face? What stood out to you in this third episode titled Taste?
I just, first of all, I forgot that somebody bit Beyonce in the face. And when
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Someone bit Beyonce in the face?
Yeah, it was supposed to be
Yes.
Sanaa Lathan. That's why they tied in the Love and
That's
Basketball.
why they, at the end when the two guys were sitting out and they were
Right
like,
over
oh,
my
that
head.
looks like the girl from
What?
Love and Basketball. Like,
Yeah.
that's why, because it was supposedly Sanaa Lathan bit her in a
in
party
the club. Lord.
back in the day. And I had forgotten about
When
that.
was this? Was I?
That was
a couple
years
years
ago.
ago.
Like
Yeah.
a Christmas party or December
Yeah.
party.
Hold on, Brandon, are you with me, B? Did you know about this?
No, I didn't know about it until recently. I looked up some stuff too, and I was like, "Wow, Sanaa Lathan."
Why isn't this a movie?
Did Tiffany Haddish have something to do with it
Tiffany
as well?
Haddish was the one who broke the news.
Yeah.
Talking
So,
too
What is
much.
going on? My
Yeah.
mind is blown right now. You guys are
Yeah.
watching this in live action. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elle. Go ahead.
No. I
I'm
just
like researching
loved
now.
it.
What
I
the heck?
loved all of the, Beyonce references and all of the things that I had forgotten, because I forgot about the fight in the elevator too. You know what I mean? Things just happen so fast and we're just inundated with so much information that you just forget about these huge things, like Solange beating Jay-Z up on the elevator. Like, you know what I mean? But I thought this episode was great. This one gave me the heebie-jeebies, because the sex with the junk food and like that part, it was giving me don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, like a little bit. And that made me uncomfortable. I could watch somebody get their head beat in all day. Don't have sex with no lemon meringue pie. Like, that just goes me. I just wasn't ready for that one.
Have you seen? Curious. Have you seen The Well?
The Well?
Yeah,
Nah.
with Brendan Fraser.
Watch The Well.
please watch it.
Oh, The Whale.
The Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I saw it. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, when people, like you said, like I can watch a lot of horror, but certain things, food, people, that was just on another level. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Elle.
Yeah, no, but I just I felt not, and I must be dead on the inside. I don't know, something must be wired weird with me, because I felt bad for old boy getting locked in the freezer with that 6-tier cake. That's why I felt bad for. I was like, oh man. She done put you in the worst possible situation that you could ever be in, poor thing. So that I felt bad for, but I thought this episode was great, and I just I don't. This is the one where I thought, like, is this real? Like, for real? Like, is this a hallucination? Because why would these things just be working out for her like that? Like
to find him on the elevator,
somebody crawls into your window and you like, yeah, come on, girl, we're gonna be together, me and you. We're gonna live together. You're not crazy at all. It's fine. I'm gonna let you in and we're gonna go to work together. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So this I thought was a hallucination, because how? And also the same thing with the group, with the neck, with Billie Eilish and them. And I was like, why would they do that? Why would they take in this strange woman that's living in her car or whatever? Anyway, but I thought this episode was really funny, and I really, what's his name? Byron?
Yeah, Byron
Bowers.
Bowers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has a fan in me. He was great in this episode too. But this one was a lot for me to take. With the food and stuff.
Yeah, he has a very dry sense of humor, but I like that with some comedians. Not everyone can pull that off. I think he does a good job at that. B, man, what about this third episode stood out to you with taste? Was it Byron and his food habits? Was it Dre about to kill the girl in the elevator, but then gets the message from Marissa? Was it the ending with Naja getting bit? What stood out to you, B?
Yeah, man. All of it, man. I just wanted some justice. I was kind of like Elle said, I was getting really frustrated that everything was working out for her. I'm like, this is just not fair. This is a menace to society here. But I like George. But at the same time, I'm like, brother, you are lonely, man. If you're just gonna just accept this stranger just crawling into your window and accept her in, Just
And then he
man,
had
that's
he
no
had a
question.
possum for
skunk.
a pet, the
That's
skunk,
skunk.
yeah,
Yeah,
skunk.
yeah. And man, his I understand he used to be obese, and
Yeah.
he did the transformation, but that diet he was on, did y'all see his refrigerator?
Yeah.
It was nothing
You can
but
see.
like alkaline water and all the organic cucumbers. I was just like, wow, that was impressive. I forgot one of the snacks he had too. That was it kind of tickled me, but yeah, the food thing, that was gross. And I think I was really at the edge of my seat throughout this episode because I just didn't want her to kill him, and I'm like, okay, you have no reason that she killed anybody was justified. Like, even if I don't even think Khalil's murder was justified. He could be a jerk and an a-hole, but he didn't deserve that. He may deserve to get his ass whooped, but he didn't deserve to be murdered that way. But she had a reason. I disagree with her reasons, but she had one. She didn't have a reason to murder George, and I was going to be really upset if she did. And
As if she needs one.
right, but yeah, it was I would just I wanted him to get out of there alive. I was nervous for him. So,
and hopefully he made it out of that freezer, because I would assume that was the cake for her birthday party. But Professor Real, I want to get your thoughts on this food theme and how they use food, and it's obviously a big theme for Miss Dre. And not only that, but just your general impression on this third episode, and if anything that stood out to you.
Yeah, I like this episode. I love all the there was a lot more Beyonce-esque things in this episode, which I was like, okay, I recognize this. I recognize that. That was really cool. Like a whole bunch of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I liked him. He was giving me I'd never seen his work before, so he was reminding me of Lil Rel a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like his tone and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was glad that all she did was put him in the freezer, because I was like, if there is a second season, I like dark. This is, dark comedy. This is satire.
Yeah.
And if there's a world in which Dre makes it out, it would be cute to see them reconnect again. Because I feel like he's so awkward in himself that he would be like, hey girl, what happened? What happened? And just kind of like not really take it that seriously. So I thought that was kind of amusing how it ended, where he was just looking at the cake like, oh man. And it wasn't really like he was panicked or anything. He just was like, I'm gonna eat this cake.
Yeah.
Like,
We'll make it.
But the food stuff, again, I just keep thinking like, maybe that's the part of the addiction they wanted to show. It's a little bit of a different route than like if there was a drug addiction or alcoholism, because you can be a little bit more playful when it comes to food, and the fact that it's like junk food and such. So I think maybe there's something with that. But man, I loved this episode. I was kind of disappointed that she didn't get old girl in the elevator.
The white girl,
Because
Rachel or something.
Not Candace Owens. What's the blonde girl?
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of her name right now. I know
Tommy
exactly what you're
Lauren.
talking about.
And I was like, man, that would be the time to get her right there. But I think also that just kind of shows a little bit of like Dre's mentality, and the plum, and the eating the plum, thinking that she was eating the plum, but instead she was really going up to her and biting her. That was so surreal.
Yeah.
That I really, it really just causing to question a lot of what is happening, because it was real enough that everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
So that just draws into question a lot of what's happening on the show. How real is her reality? Because she didn't know that that's what she was doing at all.
Mm-hmm.
She thought she was putting that plum down like Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice.
Sarah, was anything that stood out to you in this third episode? The bite, the food, the craziness. What about the third episode stood out to you?
Everything. I love the way that we started off with, her kid was being elevated. Like, everybody can get it. I'm not just designated to a Reggie or your local Khalid. Like, we are killing that look to be some type of YouTube personality, like this lavish house. And then we are going after, you get to see, I think, the worth of the Republican, the lady's home. Like, she is really going after these people and really dedicated to what she is doing. But I really love the moment that we have even the episode later in the episode, like, oh, I think that wasn't that Sanaa Lathan, or you have the guy, she's trying to follow the white chick, and the woman is stopping her, and it's like, oh, aren't you Jazz? Because all black women look like, aren't you Jasmine? Don't you do hair and do the crystals and the beads? And it's like, hell no, but I'll be that if you could get me in here.
Right.
But I just love what that scene just really represented, even though we do have this, even though this is a white woman, she was just strictly trying to do her job. You don't have a pass, you shouldn't be going in. But it's just like, is she being racist, or is she, just that feeling of what we have now as to, you have to watch what you're doing out in public settings because your job might be in jeopardy. All it takes is for one person to record you and say that you were being a certain way, truth or not, and I am at risk of, oh, you are a racist, you're an Islam, you're this, and I'm not trying to do that. Go back there, Jasmine. Like, I don't have time for that. But getting into Byron and the eating and the food, I thought it was hilarious. Like, I laughed really hard. But the skunk, I was like, that's a choice. I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to take away from that. But just that element of in that rescue, that damsel in distress, like all she had to say was, I'm running from, my boy. He's gonna find me. Mine is, this being a stranger. She didn't run to your door
right
and say, please let me in. She came through, the window, but we are just, our guards are down. We letting her sleep in the bed. Not only am I gonna, heal your wounds, but I can feed you. And then I was just waiting, is she going to kill him? Because this is what she's prone to do. If this is going to get me that backstage, staff pass in that jacket, he can go. But she doesn't kill him, but she, kills him in a different way. She breaks his commitment to his diet, has him, engulf on all of that junk food. Like, I was like, so are they going to have sex, or is this just what it is? Like, but just, that whole theme of you never know who you are inviting to your doorstep, into your home. Be alarmed, she didn't kill you, but she corrupted you in a completely different way. Locking him in that freezer with that cage. He's like, oh, like, girl, why you like that? I was hurt for him. But just like everybody else, the whole scene in the club, it just causes you to be like, so is this in her mind? Like, this has to be in her mind. There is no way, even if she could get into the party, you could never. How did you even get close enough to her to fight her? Like, and then we have that kind of intertwined with Marissa and the whole Plum situation, and it just really made me think about how she idolizes them both, especially when we get into the final episode. She sees them as one and the same, and it also made me think. I'm like, well, did she take Marissa out? Like, just really getting into, even though you love somebody and idolize them and you're obsessed with them, that can turn into you harming them even though you didn't mean to. And she's just kind of clicking like, oh my God, I bit her. You love her. Why would you want to hurt her in that way and bite her? Like, I just didn't know. I'm like, I just have to take it for face value and just assume that all of this is happening. Andrea is the luckiest person in the world. That's just where I'm going to take it. But I love this episode. I thought this was a fun episode.
It was. And to this quick comment too, I think she became such a great liar because, we got a little bit of time from the previous episode, and she even said when she was a kid, she was a liar. So even though she was terrible at lying, I think when she really got into her, psycho killer mode, that she definitely perfected it. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
You know how everybody is thinking that she's Sanaa Lathan. They refer to her as the woman from Love and Basketball, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of that reality blended in. And then remember, she met the dude who was the actor on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes. That conversation.
Black girl magic.
Yeah, like that's another part that kind of like I'm confused a little bit because we have such attention to not referring to the icon as the person we know she's a stand-in for. Mm-hmm. She's this other personality. What made them decide to go ahead and lead with these other people who are real people and include them in the show like that? In that way. I can't figure that out.
That's a good question. I mean, that's just kind of that Atlanta-ness of the world. I just think of Atlanta with the black Justin Bieber, and we get a Liam Neeson appearance in season 3. It's just, I don't know. I just love this how.
And I wonder
in the realness of everything. Yeah.
I wonder how, because I saw somewhere the picture of all of the black actors and actresses that were at the Oscars, I think. and it was like a ton of them. And so now Lathan was there, Tiffany Haddish was there, Donald Glover was there, Dominique Fishback was there, and I just when you said it, I was like, I wonder if that was awkward. Like, I wonder if they were like, you know what I mean?
Once we get done, I'm going to this deep dive of this Sanaa Lathan Beyonce fight. I literally Googled it while y'all was talking, and there's a short story, a TV program, a UK show about it. Like,
huge. It was a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't know where
this was. Yeah, this was 2018. I don't know. I guess we big comic book fans. That was Infinity War. I was too busy watching Thanos snap people out of existence. Maybe that's why I didn't know about it. That blows my mind. So I definitely will go into a rabbit hole with that.
Your face of shock is like,
I was like, what? Not playing, right? Well, I'll tell you what's not playing. This